Hello, my friends. I am finally getting to do this lineup video for 2023. I really wanted to do it sooner, but I've been sick, and you might be able to hear that in my voice, and I apologize. But this is the time I have to do it, and I'm excited to share with you what I'm using next year. If you've been around for a while, welcome back. I have been absent mostly this year because I've been over on Patreon, and I devote most of my time to that these days, but I do hope to get back to YouTube in 2023. And I have some things to share with you over the next several videos I have planned out. So if you want to see more of what I have here, please subscribe because I do have a lot of things to share that I'm kind of excited about. So yeah, let me get right into it. Instead of sharing things like planner and journals separately, what I think I'll do is I'll share the things that I use from most often to least often, at least, you know, loosely. Let's see, I'll show you the thing I use the most. And we can figure out what date it is that I'm actually filming this. It's the 16th, I got it right. So this is obviously my Hobonichi weeks. It's kind of my everything planner. Home and work stuff goes in here. But it is almost like a glorified to-do list in a way. It's my way of keeping the most important things in my face because I look at this all the time. Something like larger, more in-depth planners, things tend to get lost. And so what I do is I make a layout that's beautiful to look at. I try to make it something that I enjoy, and it doesn't take me a lot of time because it is so small. So I just put some things in here. This is the new one for 2023, but it starts at the end of November, and so I've been in here. This is the third week, and I put some things. Usually it looks like, you know, I put some things in here for work, the most important to-do items. And for me, work is I'm an artist, and so I'm doing things like putting things on Patreon and making stuff and getting in touch with people and submitting things, and I don't know, there's always a lot going on. So I try to keep my most important to-dos in little check boxes, and then I put the priorities in the box of the day. And then I write other little notes about things that are going on with my kids and with dinner and whatever feels like something I want to remember. Sometimes they're memories. Sometimes, like, you know, special things that happened. I usually have a grocery list down at the bottom. Not always, but usually I leave this space kind of open for a list of things that I need to buy. And there's usually some kind of middle part that I leave relatively clear. And sometimes other things go there that I need to remember, maybe for home, or maybe, I don't know. This was last year's. I don't really use the notes pages that much. I just, random things go back there, but sometimes I'll write down, I don't know, anything that I want to stay front of mind goes in here. And then as the days go by, I'll write little notes down about things that we did, things the kids did, and anything that I might want to remember, because this is often what I look at when I'm transferring stuff over to like a gratitude type journal, or like a different type of journal where I keep track of things more specifically, I might look at this and then write about it in another place. So that's that, and I'll give a flip through of those another time. Yeah, so that's the Hobonichi weeks. I'll talk about this next because this is something that I'm trying that's kind of new, but it would be considered my everyday carry. And I always keep it together like this with this pin in here, and it's a Camel Passport Traveler's Company notebook. I have a little Weeping Angel charm from, I can't really get you to, from Doctor Who, Don't Blink. And then this has special significance to me, this patch. So this whole setup is something that I love. I love to hold this. I love to grab this. And I bought this last year, so it's about a year old, almost a year old, and I love the passport size. I didn't know that I would like it so much, but I really do love it. And I love that it's small. It's very small, but it feels like big enough for me to write in. I don't know if that makes sense, but it feels like I can really get in here and write some stuff down. So in here I have just like a plain cream paper insert. I definitely like cream paper better than white. I'm one of those people. So yeah, a lot of my paper is cream. This is the address and memo book that came out of my Nolte pocket little guy from last year. I didn't even end up using this very well last year. It was meant to be my like budget or finance tracker, and I found that the layout was really not very good for that, and it was difficult. And so it comes with an address and memo book. It's not the same size, so I just cut it down at the bottom and the side a little bit and cornered the edges so it looks really nice. You can tell it is, well, you can't really tell very, very much, but I did cut off one of these lines, like a whole section. And that just gets to, it's a tiny little book, so it gets to stay in this little folder. In here, this is, I don't go out very much because I work from home. My kids are little, and I just don't like have a reason to be out of the house every day other than just like picking my son up from school and stuff like that. So I don't go out a whole lot, but when I do go out, a lot of the time it's because I'm going to the art supply store. So I'm really trying to figure out, what do I need an everyday carry for? You know, I do want to have some important contact information for maybe like people in my family, emergency contacts and doctor stuff, you know, things for the kids, school stuff, just at hand so I don't have to depend on my phone. These things I've done a lot of this while I've been sick because this is the kind of thing I can do while I'm sick. I've just made little swatches of art supplies that I have and that I use all the time, things that I would be looking for at my local art supply store, things that I often forget which ones I have. One thing that I haven't really swatched is all my color pencils. I'm always like looking for more color pencils, and I have a lot of them. So that would be a bigger project that I'm not sure I'm going to do, because what I've done for colored pencils is I have a big swatch page in my big sketchbook, and I take a picture. I have a picture of it, and I keep it in my phone, and then I can zoom in on and kind of figure out what I have. And that works pretty well. And then also like paints and stuff. I have a lot of watercolor and gouache, but I don't typically go buying those very often unless I know what I'm looking for. So, and I'm gonna have some lists here for gouache. So yeah, anyways, work in progress, but I think it's gonna be great to have these kinds of things in here. I don't like buying doubles, and I will often freeze when I get in front of the art supplies that I'm looking for and think I don't have any clue what it is I already have. And of course I'm always gravitating towards the same kind of colors, and I do want to branch out a little bit and try some different things that I think I might actually really like. So anyways, that's what that's for. I just keep some like business card type things back here. And then I have the, excuse me, this is the weekly planner. Horizontal, is that maybe? Yeah. And what I'm gonna do in here, I haven't really worked this out. I bought this before when I was going to use it for something else. I moved that to something, I'll tell you about that later, but I decided I didn't want to do that in here. And then I almost thought about like selling this or giving it away. But when I made this everyday carry setup, I thought I really do need a calendar in there, I think. And I guess what I'll do is I'll transfer some important things to this, and then when I go out, like if I'm at the doctor's office and I need to schedule something, I can do it in here. And I can also, and this is one of the things I really want to get better at, is if I do spend money, for instance, at the art supply store, I want to write down how much I spent, because I need to be budgeting that kind of thing better. I need to remember what I spent. I'm just going to stick that there. This little notebook I had in here before, and I covered it with some fabric. It is a traveler's notebook, white blank insert. And you can see it's already been decorated by my kids. And that's what it's in here for. They, especially like if my daughter, well, they both like to draw, but she's with me more often because she's not in school yet. So this is kind of for them to just have a, I can just hand it to them if we're out somewhere and they need to I need something to keep them occupied. They can just have a little notebook. So that's that. This is, I'm so excited about this, and I bet you probably already know what it is because it's like the thing that everybody has. As soon as I saw what it was, I knew that it would be perfect. It is the Common Planner. Yeah, so I saw that Catherine was putting this together several months ago, and I did the pre-order because when I saw it, I thought that is exactly what I've been looking for. I almost gave up on Hobonichi entirely. Well, I did, I guess, except for the weeks. I do love the weeks, but the Cousin and A6 Hobonichis, I've just fallen less and less or more and more out of love with them over the years. My first Hobonichi I bought in 2020 in the middle of the year, so it wasn't that long ago, and I had a really intense affair with it for the first 6 months, and then less so the next 6 months, and then even less so the next 6 months. So that takes us to 2022. And when I was planning for the release in late 2021, I thought I'm gonna just do the A6 because it's less room and I won't have to keep up with it so much. And I'm not sure if that, I feel like maybe I just should have given up on it then because I really wasn't. During the pandemic, I needed that kind of daily outlet where I just kind of poured all of my frustrations and thoughts and feelings and everything into this daily journal. And I did it in a very specific way, and I loved it. But as time went on and my situation changed, things changed, my kids got older. I mean, so many things change all the time. It just wasn't serving me like it had been. It just wasn't working, and I didn't really need that kind of daily outlet because what happened is that I got more into making artwork again, like actual artwork, not in my journal. And I don't have time to do both of those things every day or whatever. And I would rather spend time on doing the things that I'm actually needing to do, or the more important things for me, which that's all relative. That's not to say that art in itself is always more important than journaling. That's not what I mean. I just mean, and of course they can be combined. I just mean for me, the season changed and I knew it, and I knew what was important, and I didn't listen to that. So I bought an A6 Hobonichi Techo avec, and didn't really use it to the fullest, and it became a lot of different things. I'll tell you more about that. But one of the problems I have with the Hobonichi, outside of daily journaling, just like the fact that there's a dated daily page, is that it is so full of what I think is mess. It's just a lot of mess. I don't actually have mine here. I've already put it away, but you probably know what I'm talking about. Big date numbers and colors that I don't like, and quotes on the page, and just it's filled, calendars, just it's filled with so much stuff on the page that I found like I was trying to fight with that stuff all the time. I didn't like it. I just had such a hard time with it, and it became such a, I don't know, like it was my happy place, and then it became more of a frustration than anything else, and that's not good. That's not what you want to be feeling when you're journaling. So sometime in the late summer or early fall, I just completely gave up on the Hobonichi and on the avec this year, and put it away because I was just done with it. And I did start, because it was an A6, I started doing this kind of thing, which is like a daily log. And when I started doing this, it was kind of like bullet journaling, and this was working, but this I was trying to be somebody I'm not. It's very neat. For me, this is very neat for me. I was just filling this out every day, and that got to be too much. And so now what I've been doing is just kind of making this into like a very loose, just like a random thoughts place. And this is kind of what I was using the Hobonichi avec for towards the end. It's just like random, no, I mean, sometimes it's more organized, but you know, just stuff, things I come across, things I want to remember, doodles and all kinds of stuff. And then this kind of stuff gets transferred into other places. So this is my place when I just need to jot something down, or if I want to, I don't know, I don't know exactly where it needs to go yet. I just need to get it down. I put it in here. And so this is often carried with me, you know, around the house or whatever. And sometimes I'll take it with me in my bag, because it is just like useful. But as far as a work planner goes, last year I tried the Take a Note planner, A5. And that's another one I gave up on, because I found when I opened it up, I never knew where I was putting things. They got lost in this weird black hole of a planner, because if you know anything about the Take a Note, it has the weeks are split into 2 spreads. So you'll have like maybe Monday through Thursday, and then Wednesday or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't know how it's split, but it's split into 2 weeks. And so that's weird, because you don't have the whole, I don't know why I thought that would work for me, but it definitely did not. And so this is the Common Planner. I'm sure you've seen this. It has a place for some goal setting in the front. It has monthly layouts, much like the Hobonichi, weekly layouts. They're very nice, very minimal. And then in the back, instead of daily dated pages, it's just blank grid paper that's numbered. And so if you are a bullet journaler or do anything in that style, then this works out great, because you can do anything you want back here. I've already started using this. I have some notes in here. And then in addition to this, I did buy this little high tide cute. I mean, it just got me because it was so cute, but it's a monthly planner like this. And the idea for me was that I would try to use this as my social media planner. I haven't really been using it yet, so I'm not quite sure how well it's gonna work, but it's so cute that I want to use it for something. And I like it has this like space for notes over here and this big space and, you know, the monthly calendar, and then it has some note pages in the back. So I thought for planning things like YouTube and Instagram type stuff, that it might be nice to have it separated from my normal work monthly calendar, because things can get really crowded if you put all that kind of social media stuff in there. And then I did buy this Galen leather zipper pouch in the B6 size for this planner because, well, mainly because it's so lovely and I wanted to protect it. Also, I want to use it, and I knew that I would want to be throwing it in my bag sometimes and just carrying it around the house, and I wanted something kind of rugged and beautiful but sturdy so that I could do things to it without fear. And it is undyed, and you might think that that is scary, but I'm not. I mean, I already got something on it. It's like colored pencil, and I feel like even if it gets really beaten up, if there's something, like I would paint on this, I would stamp on it. I don't know. I could do anything to this, and I think it would look good. Yeah. So that is my work planner, where I can really get in deep and plan like annual planning, quarterly planning, specific projects, long-term things go in here, whereas my more like in-your-face to-do lists go in here. I have this little guy, which is something I'm hoping to use. This is kind of sad so far, but I'm trying to do more meal planning, maybe meal prepping, and even just like housework task related, like stuff I need to do for the house, maybe plan it out a little bit better. And so I'm just trying to keep track of what I'm feeding my family better. Let's see, which I really haven't been, I've been too busy to even really begin this. So this is a kind of a work in progress. I'm hoping this is like a Midori monthly light, I want to say, or something like that, where it just has the months in the front and then a bunch of grid paper in the back. This, real quick, I've shown this before. This has not changed. It's my goal, like vision planner. It's more of a journal, and I write in here whenever there's some big thing I'm thinking about, or a direction, a new direction. I just need to journal it out. It's kind of private, and I do make it really beautiful because to me that's exciting. But it's also very occasional. So in a way it's like a planner, but it's more of a journal where I put important things that I want to work toward. And so sometimes when I'm making goals for like a quarter or a year, I'll start in here to just kind of write it out to see where I'm headed. So that's that. This is not exactly new because I did this back in 2021, maybe, but I gave it up for 2022 and I kind of regretted it. I think I tried to buy these later on and I couldn't get my hands on one, but they are the vertical weekly layouts from Traveler's Company. And what I did before in 2021 One was I kept all my reading notes in this part. I would just write down the book I was reading and the page numbers that I read that day. And then I would write just like regular memory stuff, notes and things about stuff, and decorate it real pretty, which you see a lot of people using this for that very same thing. It's not any different really. And I think I just had too many things going and I didn't feel like I could keep up with that. And I tried different things this past year, and really I just want to get back to this. I feel like this, okay, the reason why I changed it is because the verticalness, the very, very narrow columns are difficult for me to write in. And I struggled with that. And so I went to more of a horizontal type layout, and I'll show you that actually, because this is my journal. This is my main journal, this blue traveler's notebook, and it has like my journal where I just kind of do whatever and write and put pretty stuff in and all that. And then this is the JIYU planner from Baumkuchen and excuse me, and Traveler's Company, where it has well, I'm trying to see if I have a good, so there are, it's hard to see because it is, let me find a blank page. There are lines, but they are faint. But it's like Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then this blank space. And for some reason, this is also weird for me to use, this horizontal, for taking the notes that I wanted to take. And so I had to play around with it. And I did find some ways to do that I liked. Like for instance, but that's very little writing. It's like very little writing, mostly decoration. So I love this. I do love it. But I kind of felt like going back to this format and trying this here. And I am combining it with something else that I was doing, which is Good Things. I did it. That's not really an original idea, but it did come to me organically, but I have heard it elsewhere. So it's basically a gratitude journal, but instead of thinking of gratitude as in this like big kind of abstract thing, you just think of concrete things that were good in your day, and like specific things that you did, things that brought you joy, more specific things, instead of I'm grateful for my family. And then it just gets hard for me personally. It gets hard for me to come up with things that I'm grateful for every day because they tend to kind of be the same things. And I've struggled with gratitude journals for years and years and years. I don't know, I can't even tell you how many years. Probably more than 10 years of actually trying to do something like this and failing. And so what has been easier for me to do is just simply write down at least one thing every day that like brought me some joy or happiness, or just like that I liked doing, or something I did for myself, or something my kids did that was funny. I don't know, just like a thing that I want to remember. It's as simple as that. And when I do that, I have found that even the things that are the silliest little things, if I go back and read this journal and I read only those silly little things, then I don't remember at all like how hard that day was or that week was. I had the hardest week, but I went in my journal and I wrote down one good thing, even if it was the only good thing that happened that day, and it was so tiny. When I go back and look at it, that's all I really remember about that day, was that good thing that happened. And it is magical what happens. Like it just totally changes my outlook on my life, because I can tend to get bogged down in, all the all the hard stuff and not concentrate on what is good so much and get a kind of a bad attitude. So that's what I'm doing in here. I did show you this already, but I'll just talk about it now. This is my journal where I do some like long form, or it's kind of full of stuff right now because I just stuck a bunch of things in here that I need to put in here, like just random ephemera and stuff. But I don't do this every day, obviously. I do this only when I feel like I need to. And this is something I was trying to do almost daily, and I definitely did, or at least weekly, and I kind of got away from that too. But here's the thing. I do go in seasons. I do work on things in seasons, and I am an artist, and my main goal is to be making the art that I need to be making, and my journals are a tool for that. They're a way for me to get the thoughts out of my head that I want to put into my artwork. And so as long as they're working for that, then they're working for me. I don't need to record every single thing that happened. I'm not a memory keeper in that way. I know a lot of people keep their journals just for keeping memories. I've never been that way. My poor kids don't even have baby books. I struggle with that kind of memory keeping. My main purpose for all this planning and journaling is to get thoughts that are in my head out on paper. That's my main goal. And of course, I do also want to remember some important things that happen. But my main concern is getting thoughts and ideas down on paper and then making them more concrete in the things that I do in my artwork. That's my driving passion. And so I think that all these things somehow lead to that, but also, wanting to be a better mom and wife and all that. Hence the meal planner that's not going so well. So a couple more things to show you. Oh, this might be a good thing. This kind of what I just said leads into this. This is the Our Studio Research Project weekly journal. I was not going to get this, and then I watched a video by Courtney Diaz in her Patreon like a month or two, I don't know, a while ago. And when she was talking about it, not about what she's doing with it, because she's doing something totally different and has been for a while. When she was going through, I think they made some changes to the back or something, I don't really know. But when she was talking about the journal itself, in that moment, something clicked for me. I think I had a need for something that and then she was talking about this, and I was like, that's exactly what I need. So I ordered it from them directly because other places like Yoseka were already sold out. So let me tell you what I'm doing with it. I am going to use this as an actual research journal. So that's what it's called, research project. I have not started in it, obviously, because it does actually begin like in the new year. It does not have any kind of, like, it begins on January, and the weeklies begin December 26th, which is the first of the year falls during that week. So what I want to do is the kinds of things that I put in here, and also like all this stuff. Let me just give you an idea of, I always have this kind of stuff on my desk. Look at this. Just like random notes. Lists of things that I want to make, materials I want to try out, ideas for paintings, and lists of things, I don't know, just like stuff I hear about online. I just write it down. Notes from other artists and things. That's a list of things my kids need. It probably goes elsewhere. A quote that, lots of quotes, and some things I need to do, like deadlines and materials. So these kind of notes, this is just one little handful. These kind of notes are on my desk all the time. And I don't know what to do with them because I love them. I mean, I love the way that they look, and I do want to, that's why they're stuck in here, because I'm hoping to kind of put some of those in here. I do transfer this information sometimes to my planner, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just leave it on these random scraps of paper to find, you know, months or years later. So it's not very, it'll come to me, but you know, it's not working very well is what I mean. That's the kind of thing I put in here too, is just, see if I can find, like, I'll be watching something and I'll write down some, you know, like this page is full of things that I've seen or I've heard about, and I just write down things. So this is what I'm going to do with this. If I'm watching a video, whether it is on Patreon, YouTube, classes that I take online, anything that I'm consuming, or podcasts, or wherever I take in information, sometimes even on Instagram, a post that I come across, I want to keep that kind of stuff in here. So it is kind of like a little notepad. So if you think of like this is my daily notepad where I could just like jot down stuff in here. And the idea is that I keep it kind of organized in a way that that I can kind of flip through and think, oh, that's when I watched that video. And then if it's important for work, for example, I can put it in my work planner in a way that makes more sense. But it's kind of like having a bunch of little note papers in an organized manner. So this is kind of what I was trying to do with this, but this is not quite as organized because it is, first of all, it's not dated. Secondly, it is, sometimes I do long form writing or a lot more writing in here, and things like that can get lost. And so this is just for notes. Like if I'm watching an artist and I want to remember the kind of, you know, the color of color pencil, then I just write down that. Very, very simple. And then in the back, there's all this kind of stuff. And I haven't figured out all the things that I want to do, but there's a lot of, like, just informational pages. I think what I might do with this is write down classes that I take, perhaps, or something like that, lists of things, maybe classes I want to take on Skillshare or wherever. And then similarly, this is like a place to keep some kind of information. So I'm going to work this out. I haven't worked all that out, but for these, like, I want to keep track of colors that I love back here. This is actually for color notes. And so color swatches. What I might do though is cut out a different piece of paper with the color on it and put it, glue it in here, because this paper is not the best. And then brick notes. So it comes with this, which is just a small little notebook of these same, they call them brick notes. And it's just like number, date, rectangle, and note. So what I've started doing is I've made some notes in here about color palette type stuff, or colors that I'm using. And these are papers that I cut out and glued in here, which I think works well. And what happens is I often do these kinds of things, or I'll be just playing around on some paper, and I do like to save stuff like that just for information maybe. And so it becomes more of those like loose notes or papers floating around my desk that don't have a place. So what I'm going to do is glue them in here and kind of write down when that happened, and any kind of notes about it that I want to remember. So these, you know, these are like colored pencils I was playing around with, so I just wrote down the colors. That's what's gonna be in here. It is a thin little notebook, and I was thinking that maybe in the future I would make my own book like this with my own layout, using nicer paper maybe, or not. I don't really know. I'm gonna try it in this because I have it, and it's I don't know what I'm gonna do with these in the back of this journal, but maybe the same thing. So that's that. Just a couple more things to talk about. I'm almost done. This is the same. It's just a Midori notebook, plain paper, where I write down. It's like journaling about my faith, and that's all that is. It's my, I guess, spiritual growth notebook. And then this is also the same, if you've seen this before, hand-stitched leather tee. And it's so nice. It's just so nice. And in this I have notebooks where I excuse me, I use these for writing projects of various kinds. So there's a notebook for more just like random writing ideas, more like essay nonfiction type things. This is for children's book ideas. This is for actually, this is, I haven't used it yet, but it's one of those accordion or concertina type for like illustrations. And then this is for my novel that I'm working on extremely slowly. I just keep notes in here, and this is mainly just a place to keep the notes. And then this is some other note. This is another notebook I put back here for random notes that don't go anywhere else. And so this is just in one place. I have everything I need for my writing projects, and it's nice to have. I don't get to it very often, but it's nice to know that when I do get to it, I have exactly like everything I need in here. Like, this is where I want to go for that. One more thing that I want to show you that's new is this. I got this for my birthday from a family member, and I'm completely in love with it. I've wanted one for years, but it didn't make sense before because I couldn't go anywhere and I had little kids and blah, blah, blah. But this year I was like, it's the year, and I got it for my birthday. It's a really special, very special present. I have a grand full of stuff. And I've been using this a lot for all my sketching and stuff. And I won't get into all my sketchbooks and things in this video because you guys have other things you need to do, I'm sure. And I just wanted to share that because I'm really excited about it. And I think that's it. There's a good chance I might have missed something, but I think I covered all the important parts. And I'm not making a lot of huge changes, which I think is good. I feel like I'm getting better at knowing what's working for me and what's not, and narrowing it down. And this is what I've got. So I'll let you know, how it's going in the new year. And I'll have some other videos coming up of more specific things. So let me know if you want to see more of something or hear more about something specifically, because I love to talk about this stuff. So I don't always know what people actually want to hear about, because I just talk about everything. So I hope you're well. All right. Love you guys. Bye.